Hey there guys, it's Bane here, back again with another video, another IE review, another Idleon account review. Um, Today we have user has also messaged me via Discord. I actually do want to share some news with you guys. It's going to be a while till you guys get this actual news, but I'm excited to announce that I've actually made a Discord. So as opposed to you guys messaging me on Discord directly, there is a link down in the description you can click on to join the Discord. You can ask for getting an IE review there. Um, Basically, it'll be kind of like the same process. People kind of messaging me, asking for some help, some things you generally want to do for your account, see what you can progress. Uh, but for now, I do have a quite a big backlog of people trying to get their accounts reviewed. So I did sort of compile a spreadsheet trying to see what needs to be done for those people to make sure I keep myself on track and sort of keeping up to it. Let them know when I upload the videos. Did I give them a written guide? That kind of stuff to keep me on track with everyone here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today we have, hold on, can you give me the pronunciation of how to say his account name? Davoyuh, 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 Davoyuh. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. So today we have his account. Looks like he is probably in World 6. He is in World 6. So somewhat of a later game account as we come to grow accustomed to. We have just looking generally at his prayers. Okay, I see three big ones we can talk about there. Okay, sounds good. So, real quick off the bat, quite a few things you can do. So you do have 3 star signs, but you don't have them equipped on all your characters. So something you can do if you don't have infinite star signs, you can just equip some of them. Give yourself just a little bit extra boost in your account. Other thing I want to mention is the fiber absence prayer. This is really bad. As I've mentioned in quite a few videos now, there's a very bad multiplicative damage reduction that fiber of absence provides. So you see my damage here is 822 trillion. If I equip this, it's going down to 445 trillion. So it is a massive decrease of damage for very little gain. Generally, you're very likely hitting multi-kill in a lot of different scenarios. The only reason Fiber of Absence is good is if you're not hitting multi-kill. This would help you progress portals or push Rift faster. That's the only thing that it provides you. And if you are hitting multi-kill, you're probably getting way higher bonuses from that than you would ever Fiber of Absence. So pretty much in all scenarios, you want this unequipped on your characters. Similarly, unending energy. This is a really bad prayer. As you can see, I don't know if you've actually been away for 1 day and 7 hours, because Idleon Toolbox just tells me when you last did your snapshot. But if you've truly been away for 1 day, 7 hours, you're only going to get you're missing out on 21 hours of AFK time, just because this caps your AFK time at 10 hours. More often than not, people forget about it, and it's going to hinder them more than it's going to help them. So take it off. Cool. Also, if you use like 12-hour, 24, 72-hour time, candies only counts 10 hours of that. So yeah, take it off. Also, your cards are kind of confusing. You have skill AFK gain right here with total damage. Yeah. Also, I think I saw your drop rate you get from this is higher than your boss cards. I'd maybe farm out some boss cards, try to get them to 3 or 4 star if you haven't already. At least some of the easier ones. I mean, you can get probably total defecus up a little bit if you remember to kill him every single day. I don't know what your total card sets look like. So, oh yeah, you got chaotic cattle crook. So yeah, yeah. I mean, generally the boss card set is gonna outcompete with the events cards, just because events cards are kind of limited, but you can farm out the boss cards to get a little bit extra damage, drop chance, and just general EXP. So yeah, something you can focus on in there is just getting your card grind up a little bit on your bosses. Generally, your account is roughly 400. I saw some of your later characters are suffering at 261, and well, 396 isn't bad. You may want to start getting your other elemental sorcerer kind of up. I see he's probably skilling right now. Looks to be that case. Looks to be that way. So I mean, you can probably get his levels up a little bit just to catch him up with the rest of your characters. You also don't have any gear crafted for him, so I imagine you're probably neglecting him one reason or the other. But yeah, get his gear up so he has more survivability, more damage. Also, you don't have a trap equipped. Your worship skull is kind of bad. You don't have a gene splicer for him. You actually don't have gene splicers on some of your later characters. Well, on like way too many of your characters you don't have gene splicers on. Even some of your early characters, which you do actually have good gear for, like you're in divine armor for some of these characters. The fact you don't have armor in any of these characters really sucks. I also see that your skilling, I imagine, probably get his some of the skill EXP up. I mean, you're doing lab right now. There's no reason you should be doing lab unless you don't have dude. I mean, here's the thing: he's an elemental sorcerer, so regardless, he should be linked to Arctis. Whether you have dude, I mean, he's automatically linked to Arctis, or if you don't have dude, elemental sorcerer is really easy to get linked to Arctis because of the talent polytheism. So this one right here, I don't think you fully understand what this is. Assuming you don't have dude, this lets you link to a second god. So if you level it to certain thresholds, you'll see that you're able to actually link to multiple gods. So there's for elemental sorcerer, you link to gods in two ways. One, by the divinity altar. So if you go over, you go over here, and I click on the god. You can see there's like an unlink link button. You'll open a menu for your characters to sort of link to the gods, and you'll be able to link to a god that way. The other way is through the polytheism talent. So this is basically a second way. The way it links is every level links to a different god. So right now I have 3 points right now. It's linked to Haria. If I level it up, it'll link to Gohrat the goat god, Omnifal. This god doesn't have a link to it, and then goes to Flutterbiss, Cattlecroc, Bagger, the snake god. It'll loop back, loop back to the gods. So here I'm looking at Nobisect, and level 13 again links back to Haria. So it's about every 10 levels or so. So I de-level this. The way you de-level it actually is if you stand under Omnifal, get off the altar, Jesus. If you stand under it, it'll actually de-level it. So it'll automatically do that. I'm not clicking. It'll just do it automatically. So then you get your points back, and then you go back through the divinity altar. You should kind of have to reopen it to see you're actually getting your points back. But you'll go back to the altar. You link, you can level it up, go on and so forth. And you can just link to an extra god that way. That way your character's actually linked to Arctis or Hariep or whoever you want it to be linked to. And also in your divinity style, you also want to link to that character. Yeah, I mean, your divinity levels is good enough where you can get your character off of that. You probably should be putting your V-Man back in, your Blood Berserker back in, because level 18 divinity is really low. And you want to get them linked to Goat God, stick them in lab and kind of forget about them for a little bit. Because level 18 divinity is really, really low. You want to at least get to level 40 so you can unlock Tranqui, though you can kind of AFK divinity grind. And you also want your lab to be minimum level 75. Level 61 here, your V-Man's level 61. So yeah, you want to get a few extra levels. That way you can unlock the rest of your console here, the rest of your chip slots. So you're missing out a few on some of your characters. So you want to finish your lab grind as soon as possible, because then you can start forgetting about it. As you start collecting more chips, you'll realize this is important to get all these unlocked. I mean, you have them in your Blood Berserker and your Bubo, but you don't have them in the rest of your characters. Eventually, this will flesh out. The sooner you get this done, the better it is, because as the game progresses, more stuff's going to be unlocked. You're going to want to do that, and you'll always push back your lab grind. So it's better you do it now when you don't need it, than do it later when you actually do need it and you're missing out on some of the buffs from World 6 or even World 7 if it gets to that point. So yeah, definitely go back and do that as soon as possible. With the introduction of weekly boss battles as well, Lab and Divinity also became important because those impact the damage or the effect some of the boss battle moves do. So the higher Lab and Divinity, the more damage you'll do to the weekly boss battles, so you can get more trophies, which allow you to unlock things like Golden Stopwatch, the Silver Stopwatch, some extra star talents, which are pretty mid at best, and what else? Some UI backgrounds, cosmetic stuff, and some slab bonuses as well. So sorry about that. Yeah, go and finish up your lab grind, get to level 75, get your divinity level 40, so you can at least get to Tranqui on some of those characters. And your elemental sorcerer specifically, there's no reason he should be in lab right now. He should be out skilling, leveling your character, doing anything but lab, because he is good. He's fine. He doesn't need to be in lab right now. Sorry about that. So yeah, I would highly recommend using polytheism in a more effective way, that we're able to link to two gods and actually link to gods that impact your account. If you're looking for prints specifically, the elemental sorcerer is the best way to get high prints. I mean, you have almost 100 million prints, so you're not doing too bad. Your other elemental sorcerer, the one you have no gear on, he's suffering right now. So what you can do, there's two things. One, link him to Arctis. That'll make him active in lab. That way you can activate the lab bonus called Wired In to give you 2 times prints. So long as you're just active in lab and some characters activating this bonus, everyone in lab will get this 2 times print. Additionally, since you have an elemental sorcerer, he can link to Harry Up, which is what my ES is linked to, even though I don't need to because I have Dude. He would be able to unlock 6 times prints because Harry Up gives you 3x, the lab bonus gives you 2x, so all in all that multiplies together to give you 6x. So once you link to those 2 gods, you'll see your printer buffs really skyrocket. Additionally, I'd really just flesh out this character, get him better gear, get him equipment, get him weapons, give him another trap, more skull power, more another splicer. I mean, you can just buy the World 1 splicer from the World 4 shop, so it's really easy. As well, if you're struggling for damage, some of your characters don't have tools equipped or their tool level's not high enough. I'd really recommend getting into Void Plus. I don't know exactly where you are in progression or if that's exactly feasible, but something that's really important is tools because they give you upgrade slots. You see this is giving you 4 with 18 strength. If I go back to the Luster, this is giving you 4 slots with 25 strength. So the more you upgrade the tools, the more damage your character is going to have. And you can use your upgrade tools, obviously, to give you more of your main stat or substat, depending on what you need. So yeah, generally flesh out your characters, give them tools if they're missing anything like the Splicer. I mean, that's a huge stat stick in and of itself. The more you upgrade your Splicer, the more damage and accuracy your account's going to get as well. So the Splicer is going to give you 5 all stat, pretty much base, some defense, and 3 upgrade slots. So it's going to give you a lot of resource that you're able to use for your characters and just upgrade their damage as well. Also as well with trapping, you really should be working on getting traps on all of your characters. The sooner you get your sort of trap grinds done, the faster your account's going to progress because you need critters pretty much at all stages for a variety of different things. You need them for upgrading your traps. Traps give you, again, more main stats. Basically treat them like a stat stick. You'll eventually need critters for some of the tools, I believe, as well. I don't know where. Somewhere. Yeah, I mean, you will be needing them at some point for some of the tools and some of the material bags as well. You saw Owlies there. But yeah, I mean, especially, most importantly, I mean, critters are important here for vials. Eventually getting to level 13 would be the end goal. I mean, you're kind of neglecting that right now, so you're missing out on some bonuses you would be getting from critters specifically. So, I mean, just talking about your characters in general, you have a lot to work on here. So that's something you can definitely focus on, specific on your characters. Other thing I want to look at specifically is how you're doing with these points. Okay, this is also something you can do to improve. You notice how vials are extremely hard to push because some of them are nigh impossible. Noticeably the thread, the nails, some other resources here that require the anvil, but also like iron bar or copper bars, iron bars, that kind of stuff. One way you can go about trying to improve that is actually getting the points from monster materials. So if you go to the anvil and I buy points, you can see it requires monster materials here and you'll get points to spend here. So my biggest recommendation is finish your anvil. You're in World 6. I don't see a reason why you should not have this. You see some of these are green. That means you have the resources to actually go through and unlock all the points in all of your characters. So you're missing materials in the carrot cubes and the goblin ears, in the Tyson steaks. You get the melty cubes, that kind of stuff. But you have some of the World 4 ones done. So I mean, go through and just give points to all your characters. This will help your production. That way you can produce more per hour. That way you're able to upgrade things like Hocus Chopus. That way you're able to upgrade some of the vials as well to higher levels. And just generally improve your account as well. So yeah, definitely do that. The sooner you get this done, the faster your production will be. I would highly recommend spending most of your points into anvil speed. I spent some into capacity for my non-archer characters. My archer characters are producing some of the harder resources. That way, I can progress that, get green stacks in them. But I would try to get the resources you can to like hard focus getting your vials up, or resources for stamps specifically, like the crystalline stamp. You'll need bricks, upgrade this, you'll get more crystal spawn chance, that kind of stuff, so it's really important. So yeah, go through and do that. You also don't have used hammers on 2 characters, little minor detail. If you do click on a anvil space more than once, you'll be able to allocate more production speed to it, so long as you have like the hammers for it. So you get one base, one from the Infinity Hammer Gem Shop, and one from Anvil or Hammer, the bubble from here. I believe you have to have this equipped to actually benefit from it. So you can get one extra production space that way. So again, that's this bubble, Hammer. You can now produce plus one more items. And you can produce the same thing, like I said, more than once. This just, like 1x gives you 1 times production speed, 2x gives you 2 times production speed, so on and so forth. So yeah, definitely a way you can improve your production there. Perfect. Okay. Moving on over to stamps now, as we're moving through the worlds. So stamps, your stamp level is pretty low. You do have the Rift upgrade for Gilded Stamp, I can see here, because you have one. This stamp mastery is extremely important. So getting Gilded Stamps per day, it's highly recommended you get 100%, so getting 10,000 stamp level, because you can get a 95% stamp reduction pretty much every single day, and it'll just stack. So if you do end up forgetting stamps, this will just collect in the background. That way when you do go back to it, it's really easy to level the things up. So the easiest ways for you to increase your stamp level would be going through your combat stamps. Just kind of go through your stamps one by one, see what you have resources for. Like this one specifically, you only need, I mean, I wouldn't do this for the first one, since you do have an atom discount. This does hard reset every single time you do use it. So, I mean, I would recommend trying to go for some of the more important ones, specifically this one, multi-tool stamp. You have the resources to upgrade this once, maybe twice. I would get a dust mode print because this is one of the best stamps in the game. It impacts every single skill. Most importantly, it impacts cooking. I always talk about this. Cooking efficiency is notoriously hard, so getting more ladles per hour, these are one of the only 2 ways to kind of increase it, apart from, you know, the chef's ring and the chef's shoes and just general cooking under Blood Berserker for AFK gain rate. But cooking efficiency and all skill efficiency through ladle stamp and multi-tool stamp are really, really important. This is how you juice cooking to incredible speeds, because the more ladles you have, the more meal levels you have. The more meal levels you have, the more cooking speed you have because of the V-Man talent. Or if you aren't able to get to level 11 plates, and you need more ladles to do that, this will give you a way to produce ladles to get to Diamond Chef level. So overall, you really want to pump up multi-tool stamp. It's one of the best stamps. Some of the end gamers highly recommend pushing, me specifically. I call myself an end gamer, but I'm not super end game. But yeah, definitely want to push up your multi-tool stamp a lot. Like I'm at 180, that might be unrealistic for you because that does cost, does require the hydrogen upgrade plus plus a Gilded Stamp. But I mean, you can probably push this up to 130, 140, maybe 150 even, just to give you a lot more skill efficiency. So definitely something you should be upgrading here. Absolutely. Other thing, also focus on ladle stamp. Like I said, it's really important for ladle production to upgrade the stamp as much as possible. So try to get more sand sharks, get a sand shark print as well on your Blood Berserker. That way you can really juice out the stamp as well. Okay, moving on. Cooked meal stamp is also a good one. Again, try to get a skelly fish print. That way you get more meal cooking speed. Obviously, this will help you with cooking directly, so give you more more there. If you're struggling with pet territories, getting new pet chance is also important, that we're able to progress that. I don't know what your breeding is looking like. I actually can't tell what pets you haven't bred yet, but I mean, you haven't gone through some of the World 5 spices, even though you should have already completed World 5. So I mean, you're missing out on even some meals. So you're missing out on a ton of cooking speed thanks to a few meals that you haven't gotten to level 11. Thanks to a few meals you haven't gotten to level 30 if you have the fluoride upgrade from Atom Collider, and just also meal level speed, which is given through your meal level, provides cooking speed through your V-Man talent. So, I mean, you're missing out on a lot of stuff there. So, if you need better pets, you can push your World 1, World 2, World 3, World 4 breeding through new pet chance through this stamp, or through the vial as well for the donut as well. It gives you new pet breed chance. Perfect. Okay. Other way you can sort of increase your damage, increase your stamp level would be through like the all stat stamp. So this is the cattle prod quest. I'd recommend trying to do this quickly because this is all the stat stamps you see here are base stats. So they do get scaled by things like all stat percent, which you do have on your characters because I mean you have you have molten armor, which gives you all stat percent. You have the opal rings, which also give you all stat percent. So I mean, you're missing out, and you have golden which give you all stat percent. So you're missing out on a lot of bonuses there because you don't have a stat graph stamp. It is somewhat of an expensive stamp. It does require a lot of money. The resource itself is rather cheap to get, I'd say. They're the random misc upgrade stones I think you get from like World 1 crystal farming. But yeah, upgrade all the stat stamps that you see because they give you base stats, which gives you more skill efficiency for some of the earlier skills. It gives you a bunch of damage for your main for the class that uses that stat, or more accuracy for the class that uses as substat. Also try to upgrade base damage. Again, this is kind of like a foundation. Your foundation is kind of weak right now in the stamps, and you should be focusing on trying to upgrade this to 10,000. That way you can get a bunch of skilled and stamp level as well. Also, on top of all this, all the bonuses you get from stamps are actually doubled from the face value you see here because of the lab bonus right here. All stamps except for mist stamps get double the bonus. Also, there is a sneaking upgrade. One of the pristine charms gives you 1.25 bigger bonuses and non-misc stamps. So all that really combines together, gives you a lot of skill efficiency and a lot of damage, and all stat, and all the fun stuff that comes with that. All right, let's move on to alchemy. So it's not doing too bad. I see you're using some bubbles to get up through. You're using kind of no bubble left behind to upgrade your alchemy, and you're kind of passive here. You can play a more active role in alchemy because you do have the boron upgrade for your atom collider, so you can spend atoms per day in your alchemy to sort of boost your account. My biggest recommendation is try to get your second bubbles to an animable level. So spore caps, I want to see, you have only 5 million, so you need a better print of these that we're able to push trying to upgrade these bubbles to like their atomable levels, so getting 100 mil material cost in this. Once you get this to a point where you get adamant, I'd highly recommend atoming these bubbles because these bubbles help scale everything in alchemy except your first bubbles. So everything level 3 on that's not a big bubble will get scaled by these multipliers if you're playing on that respective class. So mages, purple bubbles, archers, green bubbles, warriors, orange bubbles. Getting this up to a higher level will help increase your overall alchemy progression because it gives you skill efficiency, it gives you a bunch of damage, it gives you things like attack talents or higher bonuses, gives you some more max charge, more talent points, more money, attack speed, weapon power, chopping power, base wisdom, total damage. All of these are scaled by mage's best, and obviously similarly, same things for archer bubbles or same things for warrior bubbles. But these two bubbles, these three bubbles right here in the second column, these are extremely important for the first 3 cauldrons because they help really boost your class specialization. You should really be focusing on trying to get this to an atomable point. Also, as well, you should have a lot of atom production because you have like almost 100 mil oak log print, so you're doing pretty good in that regard. I would just recommend probably upgrading your character tools, and you'd be able to kind of catch up to this character right here. Other thing I want to focus on as well. You have Ancient Fury Relic, which is still pretty good. Getting this to Eldritch is going to be pretty important. I imagine it might be a little bit hard, but with the World 6 bonuses, it's not that hard. So try to get Eldritch Fury Relic. That way you can get more talent levels to help boost your account even further. Talents are a great way to increase your character's damage. Not only that, but also skill efficiency. So if you want higher prints, get Eldritch Fury Relic and use the automation arm for the max. Actually, before I give you that suggestion, I want to check something. How's this one? Okay, you do have this talent. Perfect. So yeah, use your automation arm. Use the 20 books to get the max level of your talent for this elemental sorcerer and this elemental sorcerer specifically, because you need to focus on getting book levels on logs as well as smart efficiency. These two right here are the biggest ways you can increase your skill efficiency and get higher prints for logs on your account. Those two talents are kind of the starter best ways to increase your log print to give you more atom generation. So overall, you're not doing too bad there. You can definitely increase your prints a lot more. As well, I see you're printing a lot of monster materials. This is not the best way to be using your 3D printer. You want to use your 3D printer to print things that your classes specialize in. So if you're a Blood Berserker, you can either choose fish or ore. He specializes in both. I'd recommend using it for fish if you still need fish. Your mages should be focusing on log production. Your siege breakers should be focusing on catching materials, so flies, butterflies, cereal, that kind of stuff, mosquitoes, ladybugs, etc. Your beastmasters as a Beastmaster, he doesn't specialize in much of anything except breeding, and he does scale off of agility, so he can do like catching materials, not as effective as a siege breaker. So I use him for monster materials. Again, you can use him for catching materials. I use him for monster materials just because I don't have apart from V-Man, which I'll get to, there's not really another character that's also best used for these, and I kind of need these for refinery materials, so he's printing these right now. Your DK is solely focused on ore and ore production. Again, I have a mage there. Your V-Man. So this class is really important for monster material printing. The reason I say that is because of his speedrun mechanic. Sorry about that, guys. Siri went off for no reason. But yeah, your V-Man is extremely important for pushing monster materials because of his speedrun. So the way it works, it's not the speedrun itself that gives you the high prints, it's his other skills that do. So while you're in a speedrun and you pop Void Radius, you will get just straight up 400% multi-kill per tier. This impacts your print. So if you go back to mushrooms, you'll see you have like 3x the prints of monster materials than you normally do. The best way to go about getting prints for V-Man is towards the end of his speedrun. The reason is because of this skill right here, Bossing Vein. Bossing Vein, what it does is every unique boss that you kill, and the normal, chaotic, and nightmare variants of those bosses count as unique bosses, so you get 3 per boss, give you more mob respawn. So this scales per level. I don't know exactly what it is. You can probably go on the wiki to find out, but you can get like close to 1 to 200% mob respawn rate just from this talent alone. If you can do like world 1, 2, and 3, getting nightmare variants on those bosses. These two in and of itself are the reason V-Men are really important for pushing monster vials. For getting level 13 vials in like mushroom caps, in skinny Ocal, and the beans. This is how you get level 13 vials and really high prints for them. Like I have 1.45 mil pocket sand. Keep in mind, I haven't done a V-Man speedrun since like mid-World 5. Like I can probably like 10-20x the pocket sand I can print on my V-Man just because of how much damage I've gotten. Like I've gotten to purple numbers. I was previously like hitting like 100 mils, 200 mils when I did the speedrun. So I can massively increase the prints I can get just by redoing the speedrun. And also, I only have 49 portals, so I definitely need to go back and do this, probably this weekend when I have time. But yeah, these two right here give you a ton of multi-kill and mob respawn, which impacts your kills per hour, which impacts your multi-kill, which gives you higher prints, which allows you to print the base materials for monsters, so spore caps, so red spore caps, frog light, whatever you need for your character to help juice out their account. So yeah, definitely do that in V-Man. I wean away from trying to rely on all your characters to print monster materials. Use your Beastmaster to print some of the refinery materials, the mushroom caps, and the bullfrog horns. Use your V-Man for specific things you want to target farm. So I'd recommend using your V-Man to push your vial progression, trying to get some of your bubbles to an animable level, or whatever you need your V-Man for. And again, stick to your character's like specific printable resources, what they're best at. So you see in each of their talents, I'm on my DK right now. You see in his talents, he's mostly focused on mining. Like there's a lot of like mining specific things you could do for your DK, so he's more effective at that, so you get higher prints in it. Perfect. And you are doing that on your Siege Breaker, which is good. You just you probably just eke out more skill efficiency from things like stamps and alchemy. You'll be able to get your dust mote print even higher. Okay. And yeah, the other thing I want to talk about is just general tools. Like I kind of mentioned this earlier. Get your skull level higher. Get your overall tools higher on your characters. That way you can use better stones for them, get higher upgrades, and progress your account further. I think I want to note here regarding worship is your overall level is kind of low. I feel like you might be able to push this higher. I don't know what your buildings are looking like. Poisonic, you can just upgrade this already. You have the resources to do it. So, I mean, hard focus on upgrading your Poisonic Elder. Getting Party Starter, Kraken Cosplay up are going to be really important. You don't necessarily need to hard focus Voidinator right now. It's really hard to scale Voidinator. I mean, I think if I go to Construction, I can't remember what he exactly does except so it gives you more range and worship upgrade cost. It's just more important to just have him. That way you can you just benefit from it. I mean, Voidinator will just kind of wipe the monsters in the tower defense so that you don't get their bonuses. The most important towers for you to upgrade right now are going to be Poisonic Elder, Kraken Cosplayer, Party Starter, Frozen Malone, and then Stormcaller. All five of these are the most. Sorry, yeah, five of these are the most common towers you're going to be using in tower defense to push your levels. I don't know when you last did this, but getting Poisonic Elder level 20 is going to be pretty good to help push your worship even higher, your waves even higher. So I mean, you can probably push Goblin Gorefest even further, especially with the Equinox upgrade, which you do have. You can really push your tower defense way higher than it is right now. The way this works is you are incentivized to always progress your wave to the boss level, because you start ramping tower defense damage every 10 seconds, but it resets when a new wave starts. So you want to spam your waves till you hit the boss, and you want to kind of use Kraken cosplayers to delay the mobs from pushing too much, and you want to use the Frozone towers to like slow them down. That way they're more affected by the Kraken cosplayer, and the Voidinator will make it so they don't like regen health. They aren't pushed when they get hit. They don't stun your towers, that kind of stuff. So you kind of want to use that template where you have like Voidinator in front, then you have Poisonic Elder somewhere hitting those mobs, and you have Party Starters off in the map somewhere giving your characters more speed, and then you have your Kraken cosplayers pushing the mobs back, your Frozone kind of freezing them if they're within the range, that kind of stuff. So I mean, you can push your tower defense a lot higher than you have here, because you are missing out on some really important prayers like Zerg Rush again, give you AFK gain rate. This again will help you with your Prince, with your V-Man speedrun, that kind of stuff. As well, other thing I want to know here with your prayer specifically, Skilled Dimwit, you want to max this out. You pretty much use this solely for getting higher Prince. So you need more green souls that we can start upgrading this and max it out as soon as possible. It's really, really important. Also, Zerg Russian, if you get to your Goblin Gorefest up to level 121, you'll unlock this prayer, and this is a really, really good prayer. Yeah. Cool. Also, yeah, the more waves you get, you'll get some better bonuses. So you get meal cooking speed, sailing speed. In gaming as well, you'll unlock the gaming MSA super big bits for more bits in gaming. This will take you a while to get here, but yeah, you'll unlock that eventually, give you more bits. But yeah, the big thing would be damage and meal cooking speed. So yeah, the more waves you get, you'll help progress your account as well. All right, over to cooking. So yeah, I suspected your cooking speed is going to be relatively low. Only 23 QQ in World 6 is kind of slow. Well, at least it's slow now. You can really push up your cooking speed specifically with things like Diamond Chef. I mean, this is at a mobile point, but you don't have the atoms to sustain this, I suspect. The best way for you to increase your cooking speed, like I mentioned before, would be unlocking these last two meals for World 5 and trying to push the World 6 spices as well. That way you can get them to level 11. It'll give you more meals that are impacted by Diamond Chef. It'll give you more meal levels, which going back to your V-Man talents would give you more cooking speed as well. And you do have this booked out to 198. That's perfect. Once you get Eldritch, you want to book this up to 245. That way you can get even more meal cooking speed. So yeah, those are kind of the best ways to increase your cooking speed right now. And yeah, just overall upgrade your meals as well. That'll help you push your cooking speed as likewise. Once you unlock Fluoride as well, this will also give you another multiplier to cooking speed. This will just scale for every meal you have at level 30. So it's kind of like a mini Diamond Chef. It has less of an impact, but it's still pretty important for scaling meal cooking speed. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, your Death Note it could be better. You could try to push your World 1 to Lava Skulls, or you can even try to Eclipse it if you're looking for damage. I'd really recommend focusing on skilling more so than damage, so that's my recommendation. Lab, we have all the bonuses unlocked, so that's good. Breeding, like I said, breeding specifically, your big thing right now is you haven't even done the arena yet. I'd recommend pushing arena. Like, this is really important. Getting the 6 battle slot, that is really important. Also getting 1.4 times total damage, it's also really important. you're missing out on some pretty good account upgrades from Arena specifically, and this will help you push your territory spice battles even further. Yeah, I mean, you're doing shiny pets. Like, it's kind of crazy that you're doing shiny pets, but I mean, you don't have like these territories pushed up. Not that you can't do both. I mean, you can. It's just it boggles my mind. You're at the point where you have like a level 7 shiny pet, but you don't have like World 5 spices. I think that's kind of out of whack, for my opinion. And you don't have arena. Like, that's also crazy to me. I feel like if you're at the point of shiny pets, you should be able to do pet arena for level 200. Yeah, the other thing to note for shiny pets specifically, it's best to not spread them out across all of them, because as you notice, as they get higher levels, they take a lot of days to upgrade. I'd get like one copy of each. These each count for progressing it, so each of these will give me 1 day, like per day or so. So these are giving me like 8-9 days every time each one of them gets like a day of progress, if that makes sense. So the more of them you have, the faster they'll upgrade their bonuses. You should really be focusing on like the faster shiny pet level up rate. This becomes less important because of the crop depot thing, giving you faster shiny pet level upgrades, but the woad boards are kind of low level. Trying to get them all to level 5 would be a good thing for you to do for breeding, just overall account progression. Once you hit level 5, the scaling becomes really hard. Like, it gives you like 200 extra days of progress you need to progress it to level 7. So it's kind of hard to do that. Rift, I mean, you can try to push Rift to 41 to get Construct Mastery. It does give you, actually right now it's not giving you any bonuses because your overall construction level is kind of low. And I did kind of skip over this. I do want to talk about it. So your refinery is kind of borked. It's going to take you a little bit to get this fixed, but you're definitely not at the point for infinite salt generation. You are empty on fuel for a lot of things. Well, I mean, you're about to be empty on fuel for a lot of things. You're running it low on resources. You want to keep, for right now, I mean, you may want to deactivate some of these. You never want to auto refine red or green. You always want them pumping up levels. You always want orange or blue on orange, blue, purple, and Nullo salts on auto refine at 10% or 25, 80, so long as they're on auto refine. That way they don't level, because the higher level this gets, the more ranks you'll need in the previous salt. I'd recommend using Idleon Toolbox, which I know you linked me before. I just couldn't open it. I'd recommend using Idleon Toolbox specifically to help you look at your refinery, so you can see what the hour printing and cost breakdown would be of the salt. I talked about this extensively in the other videos, but specifically, Idleon Toolbox is a good resource for that. Okay. And sailing. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. You have Eldritch Fossary Tusk, which is really important. Eldritch 80 Tablet. So, I mean, you're unlocking these kind of at a linear rate, which is good. If you have the sailing speed, hard focus getting a Fury Relic. Trying to get Ancient or Eldritch Crystal Stake as well. These are really important. This right here, this artifact is really important for progressing damage on your character, because it gives you total damage per 100 main stat, which is really easily scaled nowadays because of all stat percent. So getting Crystal Stake up will help increase your damage by quite a lot as well. Also, if you need multi-kill per damage tier, getting Trilobite Rock is also pretty good. Sailing speed should be, well, I mean, Artifact Find Chance itself should be less of a problem because of the bonuses you get from things like summoning. I actually don't know. I can't remember if there's anything here to give you sailing speed, but you do have the Beanstalk, which means that progressing sailing is going to be a little bit easy for you because you have the Golden Hamters. So yeah, if you have the bonus for, if you dropped 10,000 of Golden Hamters onto the Beanstalk, then you'll have pretty close to like 50-60% chance to get AFK gains whenever you claim on a character. You're not at 100% because you haven't unlocked the second tier of the Beanstalk. So I would still split Hamters across all of your characters to help you push your sailing even higher. So that's definitely something you can be doing to help improve your account, is trying to split Hamters across all of your characters. That way you can progress your sailing even faster. Specifically, I mean, your ES, like I imagine he's going to be skilling for a little bit. I don't know what your goal is with him, but you definitely need to progress him in some point, and he only has like 9 Golden Hamters, so you're going to be needing to put this on pretty much all your characters, this character specifically, if he needs to kind of catch up and for a little bit, you know? So yeah, I think I think this will help. I think I've said a lot specifically about like upgrading your characters, equipping their star signs. I also want to look at your constellations to see if you're really missing anything. But yeah, while I'm doing this, I'll give you like a recap of what I said. So I mean, your kind of main focus right now would be trying to push things like skilling. I think you'd benefit a lot from um, trying to push your skilling and upgrade your tools on all of your characters. Um, pushing Yeah, pushing your tools to a higher level would help you a lot in all of your characters, give you more stats, which gives you more damage, which gives you more skilling efficiency and accuracy. Getting your stamps unlocked into a higher level, trying to push 10,000 stamp level is going to be really important for you because you have the Rift upgrade. Um, and like I said, most of the recent videos, pushing Atom Collider, getting more atom generation through 3D printer, focusing on your talents and upgrading those, and like I said, with the ES, a little trick for linking to Harry Up and Arctis at the same time for getting 6 times prints. This will help you with your atom generation to push your atom collider even higher. One tip I haven't mentioned for you specifically, your boron is only level 2, so when you do go to upgrade boron, before you do that, spend all your atoms and upgrades. So click the 12 times or so that you have in your bubbles, and then what you want to do, go upgrade boron. You'll have even more clicks to do that same day, so go ahead and use your atoms to upgrade that. So just make sure you have enough boron, enough atom particles to upgrade all your bubbles, upgrade boron, then upgrade all your bubbles again. You'll have roughly the same amount that you do pre-upgrade in your boron collider when you do upgrade it. So you get even more clicks per day. It'll be a little bit more efficient to help you progress your account even further when you go do that. So a little bit of a trick there for you. Moving on, cooking. Your big thing here with cooking is not cooking itself, but actually breeding. Trying to, first of all, finish Pet Arena, getting to level 200. This is kind of like the hard cap for Arena. So getting this to 200 is going to be really important. That way you unlock your your sixth and final battle slot. That way you're able to progress your territories much faster and much easier. As well, trying to unlock new pets. If you don't, I imagine you probably do have Monolithic. If you don't have Monolithic, definitely try to push that. Try to get Rattler, try to get higher pet power that way you can progress the arena and the territory battles. For shiny pets, try to equal them out. Try to get to level 5 specifically, and just focus on one pet at a time that we have a faster time upgrading them. I mean, you don't have to push Rift, but I mean, try to push your building levels in construction. Specifically, try to upgrade Poisonic Elder specifically to help you push out your damage and tower defense. Tower defense specifically, you want to try to reach level 121 Goblin Gorefest so you unlock Zerg Rush again. And your other big goal is to be trying to max out Skill Dimwit, and obviously when you get Zerg Rush, you can try to max it out as well. This will help your skilling prints. This will help just generally for your account. Sorry, my cat is on my mouse, so I'm trying to move it, but her fur is like in the way. So try to progress those as much as you can. Your skilling will be a good point to focus on. You do have to do it less so than other people have done reviews for, but you can still juice out your prints, get more atoms, and generally progress your account through things like fluoride and boron to really push your account. Other thing to mention, your monster prints on your V-Men will be the best way to do that to help push your vials and also help push your second bubbles. The Mage's Best, Warrior's Rule, Archer's Bust. Those ones will be scaled quite nicely by getting green mushroom caps on your V-Man. Because you'll be able to push those in atomable levels to help upgrade that. That's also the bubble you should be focusing on right now. Trying to get that to probably like 85-90% capacity is my high suggestion right now for you. Okay, as you can tell, my voice is getting hoarse because I haven't had much water today. So I'll leave that. Hopefully it'll be enough for you to progress. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Have a good one, man.